Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I will be providing my book review for my first manga, My Hero Academia. This is the first volume in this manga, which has over 30 volumes now. I intend to read them for a while, as soon as if I keep liking them, that is. I should preface this review by saying I'm not a huge manga reader. I haven't read much manga at all. I read one Star Wars manga, but that was Star Wars, and it was an American manga. And so this is my first Japanese manga, and so I'm still getting used to the medium. So this is more of a novice review, someone who's never read manga before. I highly enjoyed this book. It was a breeze to read. I read it in about 2 hours' time. The first issue is a bit longer. It's about 60 pages, but the other issues in this book, there's a total of 7. So the other 6 issues in this book are about 20 to 30 pages, roughly in length, and they fly by. They're super quick, and I can totally see the pacing of these manga as a TV series for the anime series. I totally see how that works. I was introduced to this series when my friend convinced me to watch 3 of these back in March of 2020. I watched 3 episodes of this series with him, and it was a lot of fun, and I wasn't hooked on the series, but it was entertaining, so I thought I'd give it a try. And so it's been 2 years since then, but I decided to pop this open and give it a read, and I highly enjoyed it. I really like the story of everyone else having superpowers, but your main character doesn't, and the main character of Izuku, Midoriya. I should preface all this as well by saying I don't know pronunciations. I haven't really watched too much of the show. It's been years since I have, and I don't even remember what I watched. So if I say pronounce something wrong, I'm sorry. I'm still getting through this. I'll learn it eventually. But our main character, Izuku Midoriya, is a great main character. He has this pure heart that I like my protagonist to have. He has this sense of duty that he has to do the right thing because it's the right thing, and I really like when heroes have that. But he reminded me in a lot of ways with the character of David from the Reckoners trilogy of novels by Timothy Zahn. Yeah, not by Timothy Zahn, by Brandon Sanderson. Wow, I'm getting everything mixed up in my brain tonight, by Brandon Sanderson. And in that trilogy, the Reckoners trilogy, David is a character who cannot have superpowers, but he knows about superpowers and studies them and tries to help people out by stopping the superheroes. This main character, in a similar way, he's trying to stop the villains in this case, and he's trying to help save the world, even though he doesn't have superpowers. And he's in high school, and the other character was in high school. The difference is this character isn't driven by revenge, whereas the other character, David, was. And so this character is much more pure of heart, which I really enjoy. And the themes around his character, they exemplify good morals. They exemplify heroic acts. And it's an overall clean series, which I really appreciate. And so this was very much a breath of fresh air in that regard. So I really liked the main character. And besides the main character, I also really liked the character of All Might, who's on the cover of this book, and he is the strongest superhero. He kind of reminds me of Thor saying strongest Avenger. He's the strongest superhero, he's the most powerful, and he's just funny. So often there's a lot of situational irony with his character, and I really enjoyed all the situational irony that appeared with him. I also really enjoyed the kind of cheesiness that he had, where he's like, "Never fear, All Might is here," and things like that. And so I really enjoyed All Might's character as well, and he had some great reveals throughout the book, and he kind of reminds me of Dumbledore in a lot of ways, and so I enjoyed his character. And then another character that I really enjoyed was the kind of bully character that is in this book by the name of Katsuki Bakugo? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll call him Bakugo, because that seems easy to pronounce. Bakugo is a kind of bully character with kind of blondish hair who really, really, really reminds me of Draco Malfoy. And I really liked him because he's a very self-centered character, whereas our main character is very selfless. This character, Bakugo, he's a very bullyish, and I'm going to get what I want, and I don't like you, so I'm going to try to stop you from getting it. And I think that he's going to serve as a real good foil for the rest of the series. And who knows, maybe they'll actually become friends. And finally, the final character that I really liked was, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Ochako Ochako. Ochako is this female character, and she is one of the characters with quirks. They're not called superpowers, they're called quirks. And she comes on the scene, and something happens between her and our main character, and she sticks up for him. And she's so pure of heart, and I like that. She's not totally sold on him. She's like, I don't know about him, but he was nice to me, so he was compassionate, so I'm going to be compassionate to him. And I really appreciated that. I wonder if they're setting them up to have a romance eventually. I think that would be really good, but we'll see if that actually happens. And then the last thing I'll say is that this is a really well-paced story. The later chapters really fly by super fast, and I was just immersed into those issues, and I could not wait to read more. And the book itself is a fun read, and yet it's not too expensive of a book, despite being a $10 read. It's about as long as comics, which are such as almost $20, although those have full artwork in color, whereas these are just black and white, so that's where part of it is. But the story here is really strong. One of my critiques of this book is that I feel like the art style is a bit lacking, particularly in the action panels. The dialogue, the plot is fantastic. The character work is great. And the backgrounds, when it's just a static moment, is wonderful. But when a character's in the middle of a punch or in the middle of an action scene and they're running or something, the level of quality of the artwork diminishes substantially. And it was really distracting, and there was points where I just didn't know what was happening in a certain panel. I would read the next panel and look at the dialogue or look at the words that were happening, but I couldn't tell by what the actions were, and that was really frustrating for me. But other than that, I really like this book. I don't have much of a barometer to base it off of, but based off this, I think this is really good manga, and I can't wait to read more. I have picked up the second manga and intend to read it soon, but for now, this is my review. I'd give this about an 8.5 out of 10, a seriously good opening to the manga, and I hope it continues much longer. And so if you've read this manga, let me know who your favorite characters are. Do you like this volume? Is there a future volume that you think is really amazing? Let me know in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.